Okay, so this is the kit that I've settled on. I've got two Delrin Pushrods. I like this idea of the Delrin Pushrods with the slots in them. It does, I mean, it's Delrin, it is plastic, it will deteriorate. I've done quite a few coins with these so far, but probably about 10 coins, and there's no sign of any wear on them at the moment. So as long as you wrap the coins and that, they do seem to work okay. But they are plastic, they will wear out. And this is the two 5-degree cones. Start off at 30 degrees at the top of this one, comes down to about 25, basically that follows through from there, and it gets down to about 20 millimeters on there. I think I said 30 degrees, I mean 30 millimeters across the top. This is a little cup for catching a coin, which maybe we'll see later. That's got a use which will become apparent, but for an overview of using these, I thought I'd give you a little demonstration on 3 coins. I've got a half crown that I've got a 10mm hole in, a 2 shilling with a 10mm hole, and a 2 shilling with a 15mm hole. And one of the 2 shillings I'll push right through both cones. One of the 2 shillings I'll finish off at the bottom of the first cone, and the half crown will stop somewhere down the cone, halfway-ish, just to give you an idea of what you can achieve by using them slightly differently. Right, well, I'm just going to go and cone these now. When I've already punched the holes. I've done other videos on punching and doing the starter fold with the 17-degree dies. I'm just going to go and do that now, and we'll come back. Right, so I've coned the coins. So I just used a 17mm ball just to give you an idea. I haven't gone right through the half crown, I've just got it basically into a nice cone just before it's going to start touching the edges and damaging the edges without wrapping it. Same with one of the 2 shilling with a 10mm hole. I haven't gone all the way in, all the way through, just got a cone on it, just a nice cone to get started. And the 15mm one, I mean that did go right through, and there is a reason why I've done that. Right, so we're going to have to wrap these, but the half crown is too big for the second cut, for the second die. The 2 shilling with the 15mm hole, that's also too big for the second die, so they're going to have to start in the first die. The 2 shilling with the 10mm hole, that even when it's wrapped will just about fit in to the second cone. So I'm going to wrap them now. I've got a couple of tips on wrapping that came from other viewers. The first one I'm going to do, I'll start with the bigger 2 shilling, because this is the one I'm going to stop at the bottom of the big cone. Now, I've always used gas PTF tape, and this is a tip from Alan Jones. And I've also used insulating tape, and if you've ever used insulating tape, you know that it will make the coin, give the coin an horrible sticky, sometimes pain in the arse finish to get off. But Alan's suggestion, even though I've used both, I never put them together, is to give it just a couple of wraps of PTF tape. This is a brand new roller tape. And then a couple of wraps of insulating tape. And basically that stops the crap getting on the coin. Now I don't know whether it goes without saying, but you do have to wrap these coins. And obviously anneal them. So that's the first one. Like I say, too big for the second cone, so we're going to start it in the number one cone for sake of calling it something. And it's quite important to make sure you've got some lubrication on the cone. I'm still trying this PTF spray, which seems to be working pretty well. But you do need a liberal bit of lubrication in the cone. The push rods, one is to start in the 30mm cone, the other one starts and goes through the second cone. So I shall put the coin in. Get it reasonably level. When you wrap the coins, you do need to wrap the edges. And when you're using the Delrin cones, they really do need to be at least slightly inside the cone. If they're outside, they've got a bit of a tendency to try and spread, and if they spread at all, they're quite a close fit. Not a tight fit to the top, but they are quite a close fit. And if they spread at all, they'll catch the edges and you'll end up with some damage. So what I'm going to do now is move the camera, get this in the press, and press it down till it bottoms out at the bottom of the cone. Right, so here we are at the hydraulic press. It's the push rod is in there and it's just about on top of the coin now. Annealing is more important than on any other bit of your process than your forming or anything with your 17° rise. The coins really do need to be annealed. I've yet to find a coin that I've had to anneal during the process. It's part of the reason I settled on this height of cone, because you can do it generally in one hit. So let's give it a go and squash it through. Okay, that's right down and it's bottomed out. And let's drag it out and have a look at it. I'll just move the camera again. Alright, so when you're taking the pressure off, the cones do tend to spring out so far anyway. I'm sure they'd lose their spring after time, but that has sprung out. Now, there you can see that it's actually bottomed right out in the cone. Now they do tend to stick, and that's the point of this little tool. You've got this end that fits this cone, and the other one fits, the other end of it fits the other cone, and they just need a little bit of a tap with a rubber mallet or something to just free the coin. Obviously you wouldn't do this if you were pushing it all the way through, but I wanted to leave this one here just to show you what the condition of that is in when it gets to this point. So I'll get this one out and we'll have a look at it. You see, with Alan's idea about the tape and the PTF tape, it just comes straight off. You can see the detail on the inside where the PTF tape has taken it up, and the detail is completely saved on the coin, and the top's cut off as well. So that's the coin at the bottom of the first cone. Now it's not completely straightened it out yet, but when it goes in, if it goes into the second cone, we can straighten it out. But I'll get on with that one in a minute. I'm just going to do the half crown coin now. Now this is another tip that came in from a guy called Tony. Him and his son Andrew are coin ring makers, and he sent me an email about using these little cotton pads. Apparently they're makeup, what women use for wiping makeup off. My wife happened to have some. I think 100 of them, like this bag here, is about £1, and they're pretty good. I don't know if I'm actually using them right at the moment. Like I say, Tony told me about them, said what they were using, and I've been trying it and it works quite well. So I just fold them round, push it back inside the coin, and make sure I get the right one. Yep, that one. I'm just going to give that a bit of a spray. Right, so making sure they're over the edge. Obviously you're going in with a cone shape. Push that in, and there it is, ready to go to the press. And I'll move the camera again and we'll push this about halfway down, and then I'll get it out and show you it. So here it is. I actually pushed that a lot further down than I thought, to be honest with you. It's pretty much bottomed out. So again, I'm going to use the little tapper just to bash it out. And again, you can see the pad's actually cut itself off, but there's no marks or anything on the coin, and it's protected the outside of the coin. So about halfway down well, this actually did bottom out. We've got that. Can't really tell if it's focusing. Right. Right, so the next one is the 2 bob with a 10mm hole, which will just about fit into the second cone, but I think time I've wrapped it, I wouldn't have any room left to get the smaller cone in there, because like I say, you really want these inside. You want to be able to have them actually inside the cone to start the pressing. So I'm just going to use one of my 10 degree sizing cones. Now one just to close it down a little bit. I'm just going to use that one with the reeded side down just to close it up a little bit, get it a little bit further in the cone. So I'll take it over to the there it is on the press. And I just use a little brass or bronze disc on top of the coin, on top of the hole. I'm not going to go very far with it because I just want to make it a little bit smaller so I can get a bit of room for wrapping the coin. And that should be plenty. I'll swing you back over here. Find the cone. So that's just close that down a little bit, and now it goes well into there, so now when I wrap it I've got plenty of room. So I'll just wrap that and then we'll get back to the press. Alright, so I've given it 3 or 4 wraps of the PTF tape and the insulating tape around it. I'm just going to spray the cone up in my hand. Moving back over to the press. It's in there pretty straight. I'm going to push this right down until it bottoms out. Which is there. I'll let it ram up a bit. And now I'm going to use this little cup. It's basically just a Delrin cup. Got a hole right through it, but it's just to let the coin right out. So I'll just put that over there. And then squeeze down again until the coin comes right through and out the bottom. And that's him out the bottom. And there he is in the cup. And as you can see, some of the tape sprung back out again. The top of the tape is stuck on there, but the actual cone, the actual push rod isn't really damaged at all. There's marks on it, but it's not damaged. But let's have a look at the coin. That's the important bit. And we get it out of the tape. You see this tape and PTF tape works really well. A bit slippery. So there it is, 2 shilling extruded right through it. Now we could go to the ring sizer, ring stretcher, stretch that out. Not sure how far that will go over the ring sizer. Yeah, so that's a C at the moment. But if I put that on the ring stretcher now and stretch it out, I would say that's probably about a G or an H. So I'm going to put that on the ring stretcher and just stretch it out until it's even. There it is with a couple of tugs on the ring stretcher. It's not completely flat walled yet, but a bit more work and it will be. But I'm going to re-anneal it before I do anything. But the great thing about this is the detail and everything is pretty well preserved on these coins. Right, so the next one is the 2 bob with a 10mm hole, which will just about fit into the second cone, but I think time I've wrapped it I wouldn't have any room left to get the smaller cone in there, because like I say, you really want these inside. You want to be able to have them actually inside the cone to start the pressing. So I'm just going to use one of my 10 degree sizing cones. That one just to close it down a little bit. I'm just going to use that one with the reeded side down just to close it up a little bit, get it a little bit further in the cone. I'll take it over to the, there it is on the press. And I just use a little brass or bronze disc on top of the coin, on top of the hole. I'm not going to go very far with it because I just want to make it a little bit smaller so I can get a bit of room for wrapping the coin. And that should be plenty. I'll swing you back over here. Find the cone. So that's just closed that down a little bit, and now it goes well into there. So now when I wrap it, I've got plenty of room. So I'll just wrap that and then we'll get back to the press. Alright, so this is the other 2 bob ring. I'm just going to, just about goes in the top of the second cone. I've just about got room in there to get the pusher in. So let's get on the press and we'll push this right through. Just want to make sure it's down enough for me to get my cone right in it. The push rod. That's pretty much bottomed out. Stick the cup underneath it. That's him right through. You can see it's left the tape on the actual cone. Push rod. Let's have a look at the coin. And that's what we got. So that's what we've got with a 15mm hole in a 2 shilling coin. And the reeded edge, they do seem to close them up a lot. You seem to lose the reeded edge a bit, but I'll clean these up, make them into proper rings and see how they look. I mean, you can probably see on there that it's come out through the bottom of that, the one with the 15mm hole, pretty straight, if it's straight you're after. I don't know what size this one would be, but obviously you could resize it on the... that's come out about 1.5 inches. Right. So that's the 3 rings anyway. Starting off sort of different sized holes, doing them slightly differently. I suppose the conclusion of this, these pushers have got a place. I mean, I played with them when they very first sort of hit the internet with the Swedish wrap method. I wasn't that enamoured with it then. Like I say, I think it's got a place in coin ring making. I don't know that I would use it that much. Like I say, I will finish these rings off. I mean, they do make it makes a straighter walled ring to start with, but how much advantage it's got over just using ordinary sort of 17, 20 degree, 10 degree cones for finishing, I'm not sure. I definitely don't think they're something for a beginner, because you do have to have a little bit more feel for whether the coins they're getting hard again or not. You do have to wrap them maybe a little bit more than you would with other things. But if anyone's interested in the set, they'll be on my website. I'll finish these rings but that's it. Cliff Shed on the Swedish wrap method take. Thanks for watching.